What's up, guys? It's Ninja on the Ninja, and I'm going to pull up um, two videos real quick. Basically, today I wanted to make a video about context because I feel like context is exactly what's missing from a lot of the world, and that's what makes like something good or bad, basically. Um, and people have taken advantage of context for a long time. Like so many people have dismissed it as kind of like whatever, and they've let somebody else fill the context, and it changes the meaning completely when that happens. So I want to be the first because I've seen nobody else talking about context. Okay. So first off, I'm going to Fox News. Mm, videos. Trump is the only man in the world that what? Well, anyways, I typed Fox News, and the first thing that popped up was Fox Pete Hegseth says Trump is the only man in the world that dot. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth joins Fox News Sunday to discuss the Trump administration's efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Okay. If you like our coverage, please. Are you kidding me? Wow. Let me show you this. Look at that. We got news for you. If you'd like to cover our coverage, please disable your ad blocker. I'm just trying to watch like 18 ads. I just no.
Joining us now, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let's start here. Tomorrow marks 3
Just
years,
listen.
an anniversary of the start of this war.
Just
Russia
listen.
apparently is planning to declare victory tomorrow. There are propagandists who say they're going to share messages that the West essentially abandoned Ukraine. I mean, how does the U.S. and will it counter that messaging if that's a victory lap Russia tries to take?
Well, Vladimir Putin can attempt to take all the victory laps he wants. The reality is the president is focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's stopping the killing and the destruction across Ukraine and ensuring an enduring peace. So both sides are going to make a lot of claims, and the president has very directly engaged both sides in real time. There's bilateral negotiations with Russia, which, by the way, no one else has been able to do. Joe Biden was never able to bring Russia to the table for actual peace talks. Only Donald Trump. He's the only man in the world that would be able to do that. He's also engaging directly with Ukraine. There's going to be bumps in the road in these conversations when you're seeking a historic peace. And ultimately, our role is to do just that, and President Trump is doing that. So I don't need to get into the characterization of, we know who invaded who. We understand the stakes of this game. America, more than any other country in the world, has invested in helping Ukraine defend itself. Now it's time for peace, and that's what the president is dedicated to.
Why has it seemed that there is some reticence to say who invaded whom or who's responsible for this? You know, there are questions about reports that a G7 statement, the U.S. opposed calling Russia the aggressor in that statement. And also, there are these warring resolutions allegedly at the UN. The U.S. wanted to essentially water down what Ukraine is trying to offer. This is what the Wall Street Journal reports. The Ukrainian draft pins the war's cause on Russia and calls for a peaceful solution this year built around a Russian withdrawal from Ukrainian territory. The U.S. resolution makes no reference to who started the war and makes no specific demands of the Kremlin. You know, your former colleague, my current colleague, Brian Kilmeade, pressed the president numerous times on this on Friday, and he finally did say, okay, Russia attacked, but why does it seem there's some hesitance to say that?
My question is, does all the finger pointing and pearl clutching make peace more likely? That's the enduring question the president is asking. He wants peace. And
So,
if that's the case, you have to
as we
stare down
can
the
hear,
Russians.
it's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit, basically. It's a lot of not necessarily cherry picking, but it's a lot of like when you're talking about the thing I want to talk about, it's very quiet. It's very silent. We'll talk about stuff over here. But when we're talking about stuff over here, we're gonna hit hard and hit deep. And like when it's everything else, we'll hit hard and hit deep. But when it's the core stuff, it's kind of like we don't want to talk. We don't want to get into it. It's not important. It's not very simple. Trump wants this. Trump has never said anything that he wants anywhere, and he is a puppet, basically, and it's a shadow government, basically, and it's run by the rich and whatnot. That's why we see what we see today. With that, so the point that I was hoping for, that video kind of sucked at it, but I wanted to show you what it looked like when the right added context, like they added beef to a word, basically, or a beef to a meaning, basically, and the way the way they expressed it in that video that I just randomly picked was in when they're talking about things close to their core. They were kind of like hands off. Or, no, we're not going to talk about. No. Secret. Oh no, we have the most we're the most open government ever. The transparency is required. The most transparent ever. But no eyes. There's nothing to see here. No eyes. Don't look. And the reason why is because they're doing stuff that they're not saying, basically. So they're saying one thing and they do another. That's basically what they're doing, and again, the proof is in their words. The way that they kind of carry themselves and explain themselves, basically. And on the left, I'm actually okay, fine, whatever. On the left, there you go. That's actually perfect. That's exactly who I was looking for. But before I do that, that's I think a different version of the cute little puppy. There's a cute little puppy. And I love her, this little puppy. Here's the cutest little doggy in the world. Okay.
If a man really hated ads, here's what he would do. Day one, he would install Pi on his computer without spending a dime because it's 100% free. Day two,
Skip.
I know Elon is...
Okay, so we're actually going to use someone who I know who is very leftist. Him. And his name is blank. Okay. His name is Adam Mockler, basically. And he is very known to be very left. So
massively hated, but he still doesn't get near enough hate. This has 2.5 million views. All right, this could be an entire series, but Elon Musk just gets bullied and owned on his own app. And recently, it's been from actual astronauts. The summary is, Elon keeps arguing with actual astronauts and getting his shit rocked. And it all started when Elon Musk tried to attack Andreas Mogensen, a Danish astronaut, I don't know why the Danes can't catch a break, but Elon began to attack Andreas, and Elon was straight up lying, trying to take credit for a mission that wasn't even going to happen, saying that it was all his idea, all his doing. In an interview, Andreas then pushed back, and other astronauts came to Andreas's rescue. They were defending him. They were like, dude, Elon, you are entirely wrong. And Elon took the bait with every single one. He was lashing out. It's like a ketamine-fueled spiral that Elon Musk is going down. And I guess let's start from the beginning. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. Elon Musk went on Sean Hannity's show with Donald Trump and began to lie about 2 astronauts being left up in space by the Biden admin, even though this has been the plan for many months now. And I'll explain it all. Just take a look at this.
2 astronauts that I think were abandoned. They dispute that in an interview.
At the president's request, or instruction, we are accelerating the return of the astronauts, which was postponed kind of to a ridiculous degree.
They got left in space.
They've been there. They were supposed to be there 8 days. They're there almost 300.
Biden.
They were yes, they were left up there for political reasons, which is not good.
I like how Trump just randomly says the word Biden, like that means anything. You can't keep blaming inflation.
It does.
On Biden. Everything is not Biden's fault. But then Andreas steps in, and this guy's experienced. He said, what a lie. And from someone who complains about lack of honesty from the mainstream media. And Elon Musk just snaps. This is supposed to be the guy who's like the alpha memer taking over the White House. He says, you are fully retarded. SpaceX could have brought them back several months ago. I offered this directly to the Biden admin and they refused because that wasn't the plan. It was never the plan. They were finishing their mission. Return was pushed back for political reasons, idiots. And then Andreas said, Elon, I have long admired you and what you have accomplished, especially at SpaceX and Tesla. You know as well as I do that Butch and Suni are returning with Crew 9, as has been planned since last September. Even now, you are not sending up a rescue ship to bring them home. They are returning on the Dragon capsule that has been on the ISS since last September. Again, even now, Elon Musk is not the one sending up a rescue ship, as says Andreas. And look at this. If you guys know what a ratio is, it's when the person responding gets more likes, a higher ratio of likes, because usually they own them or they're more right or they just have more of a following.
That only works between political figureheads, by the way. So
Elon Musk has the most followers on this entire platform. And the astronaut, Andreas Mogensen, got double the likes, basically, which shows that he is just right. Elon Musk is usually the one that's reeling in all of these likes. And then it began to escalate.
you notice it kind of leaning, kind of like pushing Elon, basically, right? The point, I guess, from this is that when you watch things like this, when they go over it, or when the news, this is why when I watch this guy, I generally don't watch him talking or him reading. I will only, skip until somebody else is talking, basically, when I watch his videos. And the reason why is because he basically adds too much context where there wasn't any, basically. So he is adding flavor, pointing out, like, oh, that's twice, he's being, what do you call it?
It's reeling in all of these likes, basically, which shows the astronaut, Andreas Mogensen, got double the likes, basically, which shows that he is just right. Elon Musk is usually the one that's reeling in all of these likes. And then it began to escalate. Scott Kelly said, I was the commander of the ISS when Andy, who's Andreas, flew his first space mission. He is one of the most competent, trustworthy, and honest people I've ever met. This rhetoric is beyond the pale, but sadly, not surprising. He does not deserve this kind of disrespect. I'm going to retweet this. Elon Musk getting dogpiled on his own app because why do you have to call him?
Why are you pointing out that it's his own app? What does that have anything to do with anything ever? Like, you're adding shit that doesn't matter, basically. Like, emotionally it matters basically, and technically it matters because like it depends on who owns it and who runs it. There might be bias to one way or another, and you're showing that there is biased or more bias in one way than another. But again, like being ratioed only works with popular figureheads, and generally speaking, it doesn't really like mean anything because it's generally stupid. And like most of us, well, hopefully all of us know there's a right and a wrong, and the fact that Elon gets anything is probably just bots, right? So that's the wrong, and so the ratio that's happening, it's for obvious reasons. It doesn't mean anything. It's just who's more right or wrong, or I guess, or whatever. And technically, I guess in that aspect, that could mean everything. But again, like this, this is his app, but it's everybody's app. He doesn't like control everybody. It just belongs to him, basically. I kind of confused myself, to be honest with you, but so basically, Elon controls it, but he doesn't guide it. Is kind of what I meant, and that's what I was going with originally. Was he controls it and he owns it, but he doesn't guide it, basically. Like a car, it'd be different in a car, right? Like obviously we're gonna do what Elon wants to do because it's his car, right? And there's no argument there. And in that situation, if it turned around, then you saying something would matter. Like, holy shit, you're right. It's Elon's car, and yet we're going the opposite way. That Elon wants to go, like something happened, right? Then maybe, but the fact is, in this case, it doesn't really matter because it's, again, he may own it, but it's the people, one way or another. And also, outside of this, because we're talking about astronauts, literally, there are billions of people that want to go to space and be astronauts, but they will never be selected to go. And we're talking about the individuals that get to go, and they stand out on this app, right? They're like 1 in 1 billion people. Like, that guy is equal to Elon, essentially. So, like, obviously, he was going to have more likes than not, basically. So, all you're really proving is that the world isn't, what's it called? An ant farm, basically. Like, we're not worker ants. They're basically trying to turn America into an ant farm, basically. And so far, we see Elon, what you're doing, and more than double the people involved are against it, basically. So that's basically what you're saying, but that doesn't have any, like, it doesn't add any weight to this discussion, basically. But again, you can see how that kind of statement more adds a bias to the argument in whole. It's more left leaning, and he's bringing stuff up that doesn't mean anything. And it's just like I have hair, and then he talks about the color of the hair, the shampoo, or something like that. Just a detail that's just like, okay, it doesn't really matter. We're just like, you have, like, we're drawing a picture. We just needed the picture of the hair. You have hair. What kind of hair do you have? You have a short hair, the long hair. I have short, curly hair. I use so and so gel. The shampoo that you get, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're just adding shit that doesn't matter for the sake of, like, you want people to like it more. And this is the bias I'm talking about, and what I try to stay away from personally. Like, when I say a word, I want it to be a word on its own. Like, for example, in a previous video I mentioned it's the word nigger with R at the end. Okay, I can say the word nigger. I'm a real nigga. All right. I've been homeless. I've walked the streets. I've known countless homeless people, and they've said, "You a real nigga." Like, they've gave me those props. You know what I'm saying, I earned those props, basically. But the point I'm trying to get to with the statement is there's no context when I say nigger. It's just a word. And I explained this to them too. Like, I told them, and that's why they said I was a real nigga, because that's a real statement. Like, I get you. I feel you, right? And so I was talking to the dude, and so when I say nigger, it's just a word. It doesn't mean anything. But you add context to it, basically. You act like it's a hotbed, or like it's like a nuclear button, so that when the word comes up, you're like, oh my god, oh my god, and you panic and you fucking go crazy, basically. And then you go and push that on me and expect me to panic and go crazy, basically. Because for some reason you're adding context to it, basically. Like, maybe I know what the real, what's it called, definition, I guess, of a word, and you don't. You have a perceived visual of a word. I have an actual visualization of the word, basically, and that's why I can say it and you can't. As an example, is because there's no context there, and I'm telling you, the person who's trying to add context to make it like a hot button, like, no, stop. It's just a word. There's no target here. I'm not talking about anybody, right? It's just a word, nigger. It's just a word. It's just a word, a word. If you see a face or a color or a person, that's you adding context to it. And again, you need to stop doing that, basically. When I was younger, I used to ride in the back seat of the car, right? I would just drive right everywhere. I drove, don't get me wrong. I was the driver of the car, basically. But I was chill. It's like, I was just like, we'll do what you want to do, because I'm down for whatever, right? So it doesn't matter what I want to do. This is, if you want to do something, let's do what you want to do. And maybe I will, maybe I won't, whatever. We'll see what you want to do. Okay, let's go do that. You know what I'm saying? That was me. But I was driving, right? Because my car. So I would go left, right, blah, blah, blah. And I let them take the wheel, basically. The point being is that I eventually learned that they always headed to a cliff. They made stupid decisions, wrong decisions, or they had bad guidance, or something was going on where they would always end up going off a cliff. And so I got tired of doing that. And I was like, dude, I'm done going off of a cliff. Give me the key. I'm good. You want to go left? No, we're going right. And if you want, I will drop you off. Okay, fine, I'll drop you off. Take you back home. Boom. So you're back home, and I'm back home, and now we ain't doing anything. I'm living my life, right? I've been living my life, and it's been going good. Every single fucking thing that I've been involved in has been amazing, basically. Everything that comes down to my decision or with my involvement and I have a say in, it's worked out great. It's been amazing. I've been right, basically, right? And then I look back at everybody else who I dodged or I told no, and I went my way instead of following your way, instead of being in the back seat, and they all have shitty, fucked up lives of regret, of sorrow, of all this bullshit, and it's just like what could have been isn't, all because they kept going and they just thought something and they went off of a cliff, as I said. And that's basically what's going on in America. These people are guiding you off a cliff, basically. And the same thing with with Christianity, for example. I'm not saying Christianity is wrong. I'm just saying that there are people that are pretending to be Christian or to say that they're, Bible-loving people, but they ain't. And they're abusing it, and they're abusing that loyalty you have. They're abusing that loyalty you have to the system, to the military, to the government, to Christianity, to Catholicism, to whatever, right? They're just looking for where are they gathered. We are the speakers for that. Follow us as we destroy America, right? Because America is anti us that as the group, and I'm a speaker of that group now, of X group. It doesn't matter whatever you want to call it, X. That's kind of funny. I think about it. It's called X, and I was just thinking about a group called, anyways. So Y, right? So the group Y here doesn't really matter what the name is, but for some reason America is anti that group, and so that group needs to utilize or maximize and prioritize and beat America, basically. And if you watch, I will post it at the end of the video. It's called "Don't Be a Sucker." It's uploaded by the government or something. Trying to think. I think it's the U.S. government. I think it's uploaded by something. Anyways, watch that video and you will learn a lot, and you'll be like, holy shit. And again, it's not. It's all about the middleman. Like that's literally what this is all about. Basically, this context. Hold on, 1 second. We got me. So context, basically. Okay. Basically, they are trying to decide for you what the context is. They're deciding the stage and the direction that you're going, and they are the middleman. Basically, they put themselves in between you and your church, basically. And so it's not really, we're not saying your church is bad. We're just saying that there's people in the way that you need to not trust to get to your church. You know what I'm saying? So remove them or work around them, basically. And that's what you need to do. And like me, myself, right? Because I was always just kind of do what you want, whatever. Like, go just what you want to do. Because I was always doing, like, in the back seat, I got through and I just happened to get along with everybody because I didn't care. I could do whatever the fuck. It didn't matter. But the second I stopped, suddenly I was bending around them, basically. And what had happened was eventually I'm the going straight. I'm the one going straight, and they're the one who fucked up because they drove off a cliff, basically. You know what I'm saying? Our streams eventually aligned, and they fucking fell off. So, yeah, just don't listen. Like I was like the video I was just showing you before. Like it's just context, basically. Like there's a left side and then a terrible, outrageous right side, and they're going against one another in this game of football. It's a lovely game, and they're playing, and the left is vibrantly giving it their all, while as the right is dastardly, and they're cheating and exploiting the system, and creating a bias where none existed. Is my point with all of that, what I just said. And what I'm telling you is you need to learn how to stop letting people set biases for you, to stop setting context for you, and learn how to actually take it for what it is. Stop letting them say the left does this or the right does this. Find out what the fuck the left did. Why are they anti-American? What do they do? Okay, who said that? Where can I see it? You know what I'm saying? And see it, I see going like, fuck America! You know, we're not going to see that. But I'm just saying, like, look for it. Before you believe someone telling you she said that, go find it. That's all I'm saying. So anyways, I guess that's about it. So be well, be safe, be happy. Again, context is everything. So, yeah, anyways, peace. Fuck. Peace.